Hey there, John here with the Blues Guitar Institute, and this is your Tuesday Blues, lesson number 169. Today we're going to pull back the curtain and I'm releasing a lesson from the Premium Members Library. This one comes from the course called Sunshine and Grits, and we're going to learn the verse section of Sunshine and Grits here. And this tune, this course, is really focused on the more modern sound and modern concepts around acoustic fingerpicking blues. Specifically, we cover an arrangement that's a little more modern. We've got a verse, chorus, and a bridge, and we put that together in the course. And then we also cover a couple of different chords that you'll hear in more modern sounding blues. Think Kev Mo, guys like that. So this is a fun course, and if you want to learn how to get access to it, then be sure to watch till the end of the video. But for now, just enjoy this lesson coming straight from the Premium Members Library. So grab your guitar, tune up to standard tuning, and get after the verse of Sunshine and Grits. Here we go. Before we get into the picking and all of that stuff, let's have a listen to this played up to tempo so that you know where we're going, and then I'll play it through at a slower speed as well. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slower. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now you notice that little tag shows itself at the end of this little progression, the verse progression. So we're going to make use of that thing that we used in the intro, and it's going to go in bar 8 in this progression. But what we're doing as far as the chords go is we're basically dedicating a bar to a chord. We're starting out on A here. We'll introduce some picking and some movement with the melody in a minute, but we're going to do a bar on A, followed by a bar on B, followed by a bar back on A, and a bar back on E. We're going to do that again, A to E, and then here we're going to move into our B7 for a bar, and then our tag for the final bar. So let's talk about the picking that's really happening. This is very much an alternating bass picked tune. So we're going to do, for the A chord, the bass is going to be alternating between the 5th string and the 4th string under the A chord. So that's what the bass is doing. That's played with the thumb. Just keep that thumping on the quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when we switch to E, we do a 6, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the 6th string and then the 4th string. And then, of course, back on the A. So now let's start building out the finger picking that's in this verse part. So if we're moving back to our A chord, the very first thing we're going to do is that down stroke with the thumb, and that's our bass. That's our 1 beat. So do that with a palm mute. On the end of 1, you're going to pick with your index finger the 3rd string, and that's held down under the A chord. Then we're going to pinch on the top of beat 2, strings 4, because that's where the bass is coming in. Remember, we're doing 5, 4 on the bass with the thumb, and we're going to pinch the 2nd string, which is at the C sharp on the 2nd fret. Then we go back to the 3rd string on that off beat, the end of 2. 1 and 2 and. Okay? Then we're going to pinch by moving our pinky out of the A chord up to the 3rd fret. And that's definitely a cool little sound, that D note here over this A. and we're doing that pinch with the bass. And when you hit that third fret, that D, push it up slightly. So we're doing a little tiny blues bend there. And then on the end of the third beat, you're going to roll through and hit the open first string. Then back down on beat 4 for the bass, and then open first string again on the 4 and. And then you're ready to shift over to the E chord. Now make sure you leave that high E ringing. It sounds great as you change chords here. So once we transition into E, we're moving our bass now over to the 6th string open and the 4th string, just holding down an E chord. That's really all you're doing on the fretboard, but we will have a couple of movements with the little finger, just like we did over the A. So let's get about building this bar out. We're going to hit the 6th string bass, and then we're going to hit the 3rd string on the and of 1, very much like we did over the A. Then we're going to roll through, just like with the A, and hit the 4th string and pinch it with the 2nd string. This time, the 2nd string is open. And then back to the 3rd string. Now, if we apply the palm mute, this is what we have. Then we're going to add that little movement where we're putting down on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, that C sharp note, and that's done with a pinch on the 6th string bass and that 2nd string note, C sharp. On the and of this 3rd beat, you're going to pick up and play that B note open. Then you're going to pluck that bass on the 4th string and then back to the 3rd string for that G sharp. So let's put these two together. We've now got enough of the idea of the melody that's really happening and the main theme really for the picking that's happening in this verse, just with these 2 bars. Then we start changing up the melody and really building it out a little bit, but with just some minor tweaks. So let's make sure that we can play these 2 bars together. Let's do that right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now to start off the 3rd bar, we're going to A, but we've left this G sharp hanging at the end of bar 2. And this G sharp really doesn't sound good at all if we leave that going over our A. It sounds really scrubby, really dissonant, but it begs to come up to A. We're going to make use of that natural pull of the notes here at the end of bar 2, top of bar 3, by letting this ring and hammering into the chord. Now you notice that my fingers all came down on the 2nd fret, but really the only thing hammering was the 3rd string from the G sharp up to the A. But I need all of these fingers to be in place because that A is my next chord, and we've got some picking to do. And bar 3 otherwise is the exact same as the 1st bar. That little ending is the only thing that we're changing in bar 4 when you compare that back to the 2nd bar, the E bar. So we start out picking the exact same way, and then instead of just doing that little movement with your little finger, we're going to embellish that a little bit, and we're going to slide from the D down to the C sharp. So that has to happen. That's another tricky movement because we're sliding down with the little finger, and these fingers have to stay planted on the E chord, so they can't move just your little finger needs to pull closer to the other fingers while getting a good solid slide in. And it's a really quick slide sound. Then we go back to the third string. And then we come back, we're still doing our bass, and then we do for the last beat of this bar. So now we've got all 4 bars that we can put together. Let's play them through slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're ready to move to the second half of the verse arrangement, and it really sounds a lot like the first half. Except that at the end of the E bar here, we're going to do this little move and then start a walk up on the 3rd string from the open up to that A note again on the G string. And once I do that, I really want to do it with this fingering. It might look a little bit odd to you if you're just focusing on the walk up. You might say, why don't you do it like this? That's a little more natural than skipping this middle finger. The reason is that as soon as we hit that A, we're headed to B7. And that's the way we're going to start out the 7th bar, is with the B7, and then we'll start our picking. Once we fall into the alternating bass, we're going to alternate between the 5th string and the 4th string here under this B7. But we don't quite start it off at the top of the bar, because we do that little walk up. And then for our final bar in the verse, we do our little tag ending, same as what we covered in the previous lesson. So now we have all of the 8 bars. We know what we're going to do. We've got the standard move here for the A and the E. Hammer in, standard for the A. Do the slide. Back to our standard A and the E. But then the walk up would be 7 and then tag it out. And in your tab for this arrangement, you're going to play this twice. So this 8-bar set, you'll play twice. It's a great way to practice too, be able to loop this entire 8-bar segment over on itself. And I'm going to play out with this 8-bar segment, and I'll play it through twice so that you can hear the full verse section of this tune. Here we go. All right, I hope you really enjoyed that verse section of Sunshine and Grits. There's some cool stuff going on in there, and there's lots more to learn inside the full course for Sunshine and Grits, which you can get access to by becoming a premium member of BGI, which you can do by going to bluesguitarinstitute.com/premium, and you can sign up, become a premium member, and have access to this full course complete with tabs that you can download both in Guitar Pro and PDF format. And then of course you get full access to the entire premium lesson library. Something really cool. I invite you to check it out. Again, bluesguitarinstitute.com/premium. So practice what you learned today. Really practice hard, practice smart. play on, and I'll see you next week for another cool acoustic blues lesson.